Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Education for Sustainable Development. So that is the part 2 of the series Android Crash Course. So let's move quickly. So in case you have missed the part 1, then you can see in the comment box that I have already provided the link for in the description box. So now we have moved to the widgets, elements and the components. So I have already covered the text view. Now we have the most common widgets are the buttons and the spinner. So if you see the text view, then we have two properties: text, layout, width, layout, height, and then there is a one more property, Android ID. So what is ID? So ID is a unique identifier. So what is the unique identifier here? So the name of this this text view. So the name of this text view is a text view. So we can write the text view 1, text view 2, or my text view, or the top text view, hello text right here. Then we have button. So what is the difference between the button and text view? Nothing. Only one difference is that you have a one more option in the button, like you can press that button and then you have some event triggered when you press that button. So let's see. So we have the width property and the height property. Then the text is similar to the text view property. Then we have ID. Now we have layout width, layout below, and layout alignment left. So because the parent layout is the relative layout, that's why we have right here the layout below and the layout alignment left. So it means we want that view to be below to the text view and the left to the text view. That's why we have right here the layout below and the layout alignment aligned left. So according to the relative layout, so that is the first widget is the text view, and behind and below the text view we have that button, and that is also aligned to the left. So that's why we have write the layout below and the layout aligned left property. So what we want to achieve in that exercise, we want to achieve, like we have a beer advisor app. So I have taken that example from the Head First book. So what they want to select some beer. So you could select anything, whatever you want. So we have already see here, there is a, whenever we have a drop down list, so we call that drop down list is the name of the widget is a spinner. So in spinner we have to first define these values. So here we have defined the light, amber, brown, or the dark. So that is a kind of the beer. So what we want to achieve, first user have to select one of the type of the beer, then click on the find beer, then we will see the result here. So suppose we could like light beer, then it will display you some names of the beer. That could be the logic behind the scene. So first we have to create the user interface, then we have to create the activity. So let's see how we can create the user interface, and then we see how we can create the user activity for that application. So for the Android, for the spinner part, so we have a spinner, and then the ID. You must understand what is the ID means. Then layout width, layout height. You understand the wrap content. Wrap content means the whatever the text, it will capture all the text. And then these are for the relative layout properties like alignment, parent, top, horizontal, true. So it means it is horizontally, and it is on the top side of the parent. And then there is some margin top, so how much distance you need from the top. So first we have to create a string array, because we have to display these values light, amber, brown, and dark. So we have to move to the string.xml file, and here we have to define not the string key value pair, but we have to define the string array. So how we can define the string hyphen array name equals to string underscore array underscore name. So this is the name by which we can access that array inside the layout or inside the code. And then we have the values: string value 1, string value 2, and string value 3. So in that case, what could we write? We have to write the light, amber, brown, and dark instead of value 1, value 2, and value 3. So we have to define that string array in the strings.xml file. Now as I have told you that the button has a property on click. It means whenever we have we have to click on a button, then there is some action or some event would be triggered, and that action what is the action. So in that case the action is the on click find beer. So that action is basically a name of the method that is written in the activity file. So there is a activity file behind the layout. So the name, so there is a method on click find beer in that activity.java file. So when as soon as we click on as soon as we click on the button, then it will send the code to the on click find beer method. So let's see how. So you see the find beer activity, the name of the activity, and that will extend activity. Then we have already defined cover the on create method in the part 1 of that video. Now I have covered the on click find beer. So that is the name. If you see the same name, on click find beer, here the name is also on click find beer. So as soon as we click on the button, so what we want, so we want some action. So all the action would be defined in that code blocks. So what we want, so what we do here, we have do text view brands, then I have used the find view by ID. So this is the method where by which we can access any widgets using the ID. So here the r.id.brands. So here we can see the ID of a, so it means we have a text view and we have access it by using its ID, and its ID is brands. Then what we do, so similarly we can access the spinner by using the find view ID. So suppose the ID of a spinner is color, so r.id.color, then we have to cast it in. So because it will return a view, so we have to cast in some exact widget. So in that case the spinner, and in that case the text view. So I have casted that, and then we will do some string operation, and then we have set text in the brands. So what we do, so we have accessed that color, and then on the basis of color we have it means we have accessed that spinner, and then we get selected item. So what the item the user selected, so we get that item selected here, and then we have put that inside the set text. So what will we do, so we have select, suppose here amber, and then we press the find beer, so that whatever we have selected, it will display here. So you have to understand the find view ID is a very important question. It is already asked many times in your exam, and you have to understand what is, how the spinner functions in this code. So that could be asked. So now understand the multiple activities and intents. So till now we have only the one activity, but that is in case of only we have one activity, we have only one screen in the mobile application. But whenever we want multiple screens, so in that case we need the multiple activities. So for that purpose we have a intent. So by the use of intent, we will move from one screen to the another screen. So in this series I have also taken that from the head first, that we have a chat box, like we have typed here some message like a little message, and then we press send message, and then a new screen will open, and that will display my message that I have written on the screen first. So in that case we have screen 1 and the screen 2. So we need the two activities. So the first activity name is the send activity, and the second activity name is the receive activity. So we have to write the two activities, first receive activity and the send activity. And so we have to also define these two activities in the Android manifest.xml file, because it is a configuration file, and I have already mentioned you that without the adding that activity file inside the Android manifest.xml file, the Android is not able to understand how many activities you have in your application. So we have to that is the must thing that you have to define under the Android manifest.xml file. So we have that XML. So we have two activities. Similarly, we have the two XML files. So that is the first activity. So we have button. All these properties you can easily understand: ID, layout, width, layout, height, and there is a one method on click, and on click we have a on send message. So that is the name of the method. And then we have text at the rate of string send. Then we have edit text. Edit text means whenever we want to edit something on the screen, we need edit text, and whenever we want just the label, then we use the text view, and whenever we want some clicking property, then we use the button. So here you can see this edit text. All these properties are very similar: ID, layout, width, height, alignment, margin, top, and the base layout is the relative layout. So what will happen? So now we have to write the create message activity. How we can write that create message activity? Extend with the activity. Then we have on create method. Similarly, we have already written this. Then we have on send message. So that is the method we need whenever we have click on the button send message. So you have to keep one thing in remember, that here we have always that method is public, void, and it will always we will always have to pass a parameter view. So here is the Android manifest.xml file. So if you see here, so I am explaining that Android manifest.xml file. So you have see here that there is application. So there is some app name, theme name, IC launcher. Then we have that default activity. Then we have also added that secondary activity. So we have two activity: create message activity and the receive message activity. So create message activity, our first activity, that is the launcher activity. So that's why here its category is under the android.intent.category.launcher, and it is our main activity. So for the main activity we have to define these two properties under the intent filter, and second we have to also define our second activity, that is the receive message activity. And you see here the label, you don't need to define the label, that is but here we have defined it here, otherwise Android will automatically add some label. So how the create activity works? So now we have one activity, create activity, another is a receive activity. So how we can link between these two? So for that we need an intent. So intent, you can think something like to do intent to do something. So what is the intent here? So intent means to start the second activity by the first activity. So basically it binds some separate object together at runtime. So see, so for that we have first create the intent, and then we have to start that activity. So as soon as you click on the send button of your screen, you type some message and then click on the send button, what will happen? The code will appear here on send message, and then you have to write here intent, because you want the whatever you write on that screen would be passed to the second screen. So in that case you have to start that second activity. So to start that activity we need the intent. So how the code? So for that we have a intent. First we have to write the intent. So the intent is a class, then its name is object name is intent, then it's equals to new intent this, then receive message activity dot class. So we have to explicitly define a name of the class, name of the activity class. So that we call the explicit intent. So there are two intents, explicit intent and the implicit intent. So I will cover the implicit intent, just wait. So we have create the intent, then we have to start activity. So as soon as we start the activity, it will start the receive message activity. Android will start the receive message activity. So but here the one problem is that we have also typed some message. So we want this message to be sent to the second screen. So for that purpose we have to store that string whatever we have write, and then we have to pass that string to the intent through the intent, and then in that case the receive message activity have to extract that intent. So we need first to set, and then we have to need get. So for that we have method like get string extra or the set string extra. So we have a string message, so we have right here intent dot get string extra message, or we can put extra. So first we have to put, then we have to get. So you see in that screen create message activity, we have first we have a first edit text. So in edit text we have extract the edit text by using the find view by id. Then I have extract the message of the edit text, because in the edit text we have added the message, so that is the edit text. So we have extract using the get text method of the edit text class, and then we have used the toString method to convert to the string, and then I have stored it under the string name message text. So after that, so we get the message. Now we have to create the intent. So I have created the intent. Now we have to put that string, that whatever I have extracted from the edit text, into the intent. So we have that put extra method. So here we use the put extra method, and on the receiving activity we have to use the get what's the name of that method, get string extra. Here the name is put extra, and on the receiving side we have the name is get string extra, and there is some key. So I have used that key receive message activity dot extra message. So I have already defined that key in the receive message activity. So I have, that is a global variable, so I am able to access that variable through the class name, and I have then pass the message text. So message text is whatever I have text. So I have, suppose I have text the type the hello, so in that case hello is put in the intent, and then again we have to start the activity. So I have start the activity and then pass the intent. So it means now the method would be passed to the second activity, that is receiving activity, through the intent. So see the this is the receiving activity. So here is our global variable. So in Java we have a global variable. We define the global variable by using the public static final string, the name of the string. So the global it is a global variable, that's why we have keep the name of the variable in the capital letters. Then we have to override the onCreate method for all the activities. So here what we have do, we have create the intent, and then we have write the get intent method. So the get intent, it means whatever the intent that start that activity would be there, and then we have to use the get string extra method to extract that string. Now we have need a text view on that receiving message activity, so that we can display that our text. So what we do, so we have already created a layout, and in that layout we have a text view for the receiving message activity .xml file. So we have extracted that mess text view, and then we have just set that text inside the message view. So that will complete that part. So we have two things, activity. First activity is the create message activity, and the second activity is the receive message activity. In the first activity we have whenever we click on the button, then we will move to that method, and in that method we have create the intent, and we have extract the information, and then we will put the information inside the intent, and then we have start, we have using the start activity to start the intent, and then it will move to the under operating system, and then operating system start that second activity, that is the receiving message activity. And here we have just extract the information by using the first we have extract the intent by using the get intent method, and then we will extract the text message and will display it in the text view method. So now we have, there is a one problem. Sometimes we don't want activity to be defined explicitly, that where we want to send message or where we want to send some information, or so in that case we have a implicit method, so by which we can create a intent, and when and then we can pass then we can start a implicit activity. So first we have to understand how the operating system works. So there are lots of application inside the operating system, and there are multiple activities for each application. So we have to understand that what are the capabilities of these applications, whether they are able to receiving the message or sending the message or could display some action. So like here previously we have created the intent by using the explicit activity name. So we know that we have a activity inside our application that will receive the message, but sometimes we want to explicit we don't want to define the explicitly the name of the activity, but we just want that the Android will choose a activity on behalf of us, so that we could send that message to that activity. So in that case the activity would be like WhatsApp or the Facebook or any app which could receive the message, we could receive the text message from any activity. So this is called the implicit intent. If we define explicitly, this is called explicit intent, otherwise we will call the implicit intent. So that is most important question. It is asked every time in the exam, what is difference between the implicit intent and the explicit intent. So you have to remember, whenever we have to define explicitly, that is called the explicit intent, otherwise we call that implicit intent. So for that implicit intent we have to also understand the action. So what is action? So like we have to send some message, or we have to do some web search, or we have some dialing. So these are the actions. So suppose we want so you have seen that you can move from one app to another app by using the dialing purpose or for the some sending some action. So we have already seen in these things in our daily life. So how we can write the implicit intent? So we have to just here define only the action. Here you can see intent dot action underscore send. So we are writing a property a action intent intent dot action send for create message activity. It means this activity has the capability to send a message. Here that's why I have called this the implicit intent. It is not explicitly writing the activity file name, activity class name. Now we have to also set the type, the what type of intent we have, like we have text plain, or we have the also we have put the some extra information here. So we have put the some message inside the intent by using the put extra method. Then we have just start the activity. So what will happen behind the scene? So we have the create message activity, then we have on send message. When we click on the submit button, it will call the on send message button, and then we have a intent. We have created intent, and we set the type is text plain, and the message write some message, suppose hi, and we have add that message to the intent. So then Android see that the intent can only be passed to the activity is able to handle the action send, because whatever we have defined the action underscore send, so it could only pass to those activities who receive that action. So there is a one possibility that there is a no other activity that could handle the action underscore send. So it means there is a no activity which can handle that, which could get that text. So in that case it will throw activity not found exception, and there may be a case if we have only the one activity that is received that message, so the Android directly run that activity. And there is a fourth possibility is that we have multiple activities that will receive the message. So in that case the Android will show you the chooser, then you have to choose one of the activity from these from the all the displayed activities. So here you can see, suppose I have write here some message and then send press, and we are using the implicit intent. So in that case the Android will open that window and it will say you Hangout, Gmail and other applications which could receive the message. So that is the difference between the Android, that is difference between the intent, explicit intent and the implicit intent. That is the end of the part 2. So I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you very much.